This conference will now be recorded.
How many completed this document? How many read this properly? No one? So guys, trust me, very useful document, this website. It has very good information how internet works, how network works in Kubernetes. Along with that, one more video also, the service discovery video also I provided, right? This one. Okay. So this one and this way. So both. Okay. From that, these two documents only, like I'm summarizing the things and I'm showing you guys. Now, very simple. So guys, here how network works. So this is master and this is your worker node. Okay, now. So and your parts are running here. Example, guys, one application. This is your website. Assume that this is your website. Okay, na. So like for that purpose, you have the deployment and you have created two replicas. Okay, na. Two parts. As I told, we create the service load balancer. You will get the service, one service for these two, right? One service for these two. Example, this is a service. Okay, so your service has one name. And in the same way, you have one database. Okay, now for the database also, assume that you have replicas. For database also, we'll create the service, right? We'll create the service. So what will happen? How the network works in Kubernetes mean for every pod, there will be one virtual interface, one interface, okay, which is ETH0. So guys, do you know who will provide the like IP address and interfaces to your pods? There is a plugin called CNI, guys. CNI plugin is available. Okay, na. So CNI means Container Network Interface. Okay, na. So basically, this CNI will provide the like interfaces. Okay, na. Elastic network interfaces. Okay, so to your parts. Basically, first in worker nodes, one virtual interface will be created. Okay, now like this. See, the example, this is your worker node and this is one virtual interface. If you see if CFG command, guys, in if CFG command, okay, you can see ETH0. What is ETH0? This is your worker node main interface. And virtual interfaces gets created whenever a pod is created in your system worker node for anything, for deployment, for database, one pod is created means first in worker node one interface, virtual interface will be created and the same interface is attached to your pod. Okay, now same similar concept. Whenever you create one more pod, it's the same replica or one more deployment pod mean first virtual interface. Okay, now so you can see in if config command. Okay, so do you have Docker network, Docker system? Can someone please quickly launch one normal system and install Docker? I will show you.
Yes, I already have.
Oh, great. Let me share your screen. So your good name?
Prithvi?
Prithvi. Yeah, please go ahead. to the given control. Can you please open one Docker host? Can you run clear the screen? Do if config command. See, as of now, Docker 0, which is like a bridge network, which manages the bridge network in your Docker. The ETS 0 is main interface. Can you please create one Docker container? No, no. Just image name is HTTP. Anything, any container. Do if config now. The same thing happen in Kubernetes also, guys. See, one virtual interface created for your container, and the same interface will be attached to your container. In the similar way, in Kubernetes also, whenever pod is created, okay, na. So one virtual interface created in worker node, the same interface will be connected to my pod. Similar, it doesn't matter for all your pod, same thing happen. So here instead of bridge, container bridge will be there, guys. Okay, na. Instead of here, like generally in what I can say, in normal Kubernetes we have Docker 0, right? Okay, na. So similar way here CBR 0, container bridge. Okay, na. So which is manage the like network for your within the internally. Like example, generally pod to pod communication by default, guys, in a single cluster, it doesn't matter. Your pod is running in same node or different worker nodes. So the communication will be available by with the IP address. Okay, now because by default here it will use flannel network. That is the type of the network. In Kubernetes, in Docker, we have bridge network, right? Host network, none network. Here, flannel is the default one. Flannel. Okay, na. So by default, the communication will be there. It doesn't matter. Your pod is running same node, different deployment, different namespace. Okay, na. The pod communication will be there. By using IP address of the pod, you can talk to each other. One pod can talk to another. Okay, now. So who will allocate the IP address of the pods? CNI. CNI is responsible for all the like interface allocations, IP address of the pod. Okay, so all these things are managed by CNI plugin. In Kubernetes, it is there. Okay, na? So then here CBR 0 will manage the internal communication within the worker node. Okay, now it manages this network in within a worker node. So whenever example pod 1 talking to want to talk to pod 2, just we don't have any service concept, assume that. Okay, now just pod to pod communication, how it will be happen mean. So here example, in this one application running, in this one more application running, maybe different deployment pod, this is one more deployment, we don't have service, assume that. So అప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుంది? See the like packet routes. So whenever example this application is trying to talk to this application, Okay, now generally this pod IP address available in the first application configuration file. I will show you that also. So whenever this application try to reach this application, so see how it is going. First from my interface to it will go to this interface, then bridge 0. So bridge 0 knows this IP address where it is running. So it will connect to virtual interface. From there it will connect. This is how the traffic flow is there within, if it is pod level communication within the same node. Okay, now there is one more scenario. In this scenario, if at all, guys, if at all the traffic is between two different worker nodes, okay, not within the same worker node. So then how it is possible? How your network works here? So first of all, whenever example this pod is trying to reach this pod, maybe this is application, this is database. So this pod is trying to talk to this database. So what will happen? It will go to here, but it will come here. So CBR is only for within the node, guys. CBR internal network మాత్రమే manage చేస్తుంది. It will manage only with internal network. So definitely this pod IP address, now this CBR0 doesn't know that. CBR0 knows only the internal traffic, guys. ఇక్కడ విత్ ఇన్ ద నోడ్ లో ఉన్న ఐపీ అడ్రస్ మాత్రమే దీనికి తెలుసు. ఇట్ నోస్ ఓన్లీ విత్ ఇన్ ఇంటర్నల్ ఐపీస్. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ ద రిక్వెస్ట్ కమ్ టు దిస్, ఐ వాంట్ టు కనెక్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ టు హియర్, ఓకేనా, ఫస్ట్ ద రిక్వెస్ట్ విల్ కమ్ హియర్. Definitely CBR0 doesn't know that IP. Internally it doesn't know, right? It will forward it to ETH0. Okay, so ETA from here, now it will come to CNA, guys. Now CNA will take care. Now CNA, basically in Kubernetes, if you see, if you remember, kube proxy is there. Do you know kube proxy? What is kube proxy, guys? What is kube proxy? What is kube proxy service? Huh? Kube proxy means it is a network service component. It will manage the network rules. So basically kube proxy will manage the network rules here in your server, so with the help of IP tables. So basically whenever your CBR0 doesn't find out the IP address within the system, so your kube proxy will take that control. Okay, now with the CNI will manage your rules with the help of kube proxy. Okay, now so kube proxy will forward the request to, so ETH0, then ETH0 will forward the request to another worker node. Okay, now so another worker node there, it again it will go to CBR0. CBR knows it now, the IP address. See the traffic flow. ఇక్కడ నుండి ఇక్కడికి, ఇక్కడ నుండి CBR0, then it will come to ETH0, from there to here ETH0, then CBR0. Now CBR0 knows the internal pod IP address. So this is how pod to pod. If it is the same worker node, okay, now two different pods mean CBR0 is enough. Okay, now but if it is two different worker nodes means CBR0 won't enough. Here kube proxy will come into picture. Kube proxy rules, CNI plugin. Okay, now with the help of CNI plugin, kube proxy will manage the rules. Kube proxy will take the control. It will send the traffic to, so kube proxy knows that in which worker node I have that pod. Okay, now so it will send the traffic from ETH0 to that ETH0, then it will go to the respected CBR0, and CBR0 to it will go to respected pod. This is how the traffic flow will be when it comes to two different pods which are running in different worker nodes. And one more thing, actually by default, guys, by default we don't use pod to pod directly. Yes or no? Compulsory will create the service, guys. We'll set up the communication by using service only, not by using pod. మనం direct pod communication ఏం చెయ్యం మనం, అవసరం లేదు మనకి. We don't need that. Just I showed how it works. How the communication? It doesn't matter. Example, I have microservices based architecture. So we have different deployments and we have database deployment. So guys, generally for database, we go with stateful set, not with deployment. Okay, now. So how it works? So guys, there is a simple example he created. Example. See this. Private DNS service. There is a service called Cube DNS. మన క్యూబ్ సిస్టమ్ అనే నేమ్ స్పేస్ ఉంది కదా, we have cube system namespace, right? In cube system namespace there is a pod called Cube DNS. There is a deployment called Cube DNS. So Cube DNS manage the DNS service. So what will happen means, example, this is my worker node and this is my worker node. I have two replicas. Okay, for this is for application and this is for database replicas. Definitely we have one service for deployment, one service for this database, right? So what type of service we will create for application, guys? What type of application we create for application?
Load balancer.
Load balancer service type. What about database? What about database?
Cluster IP.
Cluster IP. So once you create the Kubernetes, this cluster IP service, okay, now this cluster IP service you will add it into the application configuration file. Here you are using image, right? In the image you are using application configuration file. So in the application configuration file, you will add that URL, that service name. So when customer hit, example, this is customer. So when customer hit the URL, first it will go to AWS console. From AWS console, it will connect to one of the worker node. From one of the worker node to it will connect to service. So in service, you have the replica information. So it will connect to one of the replica. Okay, na? It will connect to one of the replica. Example, in this replica, you have application. So application should talk to database, right? In the application configuration, okay, now in the application configuration, you have the service of the database name in the application configuration. So how my pod knows then service this DNS name of the service? How my pod knows like I should connect to this service? I know the service name, but how my pod knows that whatever the service name I have, right, which is belongs to this one. So here in every pod there is a file called etc resolve.conf. Guys, prati pod lo, okay na, so this file will be there. So in this file, that Cube DNS server name will be there. Okay, na. Cube DNS, what it does? Cube DNS pod, it will manage all the service information. What is the IP address of the service? Okay, na. So like in my configuration file, I used a service name. Example, my service name is DB service. Okay, na. So in my configuration file, I have service name, not IP address. Okay, so whenever my application should talk to database, it will check the like this DNS name in this resolve.conf file. So I have DNS pod information. So it will connect to DNS pod. Okay, now DNS pod separate will be there. there it will check the DB service name. What is the IP address of the DB service? Then once it find out the IP address, the application will talk to this database, this service, and service will redirect the traffic to one of the pod, either this or this. So that is how. So here if you see, let me show you. In the second video, he clearly explained about the application configuration. I don't know how many completed this video. Here see, first he is creating one application. Okay, one application he created. Okay, so Redis is one kind of database. So master and slave architecture is creating. So he created deployment. So then after he created service also, I think so. So master deployment is creating. Then after he will create the service. Yeah, see, service also he created. Yeah. So for master he created the I think cluster IP or whatever it might be, and for worker no, for slave also you have one more service. Okay now. So let me show you. In the application configuration, somewhere, see, this is service name for database. Okay,
మీరు
let me show
ప్రాక్టికల్ గా
you.
ఒకటి చూపిస్తాను ఇప్పుడు చేసి
ఈ వీడియో చూడండి. So just I'm explaining. Okay, now it takes some time. Here he provided the like URL also, the GitHub something and all. Okay, now whatever he showed, right? So how service work I'm showing actually. Okay, now. So here,
yeah, but we want to see practically how it works, right? So and actually yesterday class ingress also we have seen on like we don't do it on practically. We just covered on theoretical
practically
basis.
means one thing I can say, as I told, ఇంకా Kubernetes లో చాలా ఉన్నాయి నేర్చుకోవాల్సినవి. Everything in class is not possible. Okay, that's the reason I'm giving important videos and documents also to you. Okay na. So if you set up everything in class, ఇంకా నెల రోజులైనా Kubernetes అయిపోదు. Even 1 month also Kubernetes you cannot complete. Already it's been like more than 10 classes, right? 10 11 classes for Kubernetes
Yes,
itself. So we have
yes,
so
sir.
many other topics. Yes or no? So students asking like again within 3 months, so number of topics, that is also one reason. Yes or no? Like not only
Yes, sir.
Kubernetes, right? We have other topics also to cover. So that's the problem here. Here time is also one of the concerns. I'm showing that's the reason, like important documents, important here like example, when it comes to manifest file. So did you understand the manifest file configuration, how it works and all, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, so the same configuration only here. So here like only the thing is how network the flow is there, I'm explaining. See, for that itself it is taking this much time. So again if I implement this, so how much minimum, again 2-3 more classes I need. So that is the problem. Okay na. So again I have to check my time slots also, right? So I have to like of course I know that students, they wanted to know everything practically, right? So whatever important things I already showed you, based on that we have to add our knowledge again additionally. Yes or no?
Okay, sir. I have another
So that
doubt,
is the
sir.
problem.
Like,
Time is also concern.
now,
Tell me.
normally we are talking about networking, right? In one node, if we have 2 or more namespaces, in namespaces, how the networking will work? Actually, if you have two different namespaces, the pods in the one namespace cannot connect with another one, right, sir?
No. It's a
No?
wrong assumption. As I told, within the single cluster, okay, it doesn't matter. Your pods are in the same node, your pods are in the different node, your pods are in the different namespace. They can talk to each other with the IP address. Okay, now
Okay.
the one pod can talk to another pod without any rules by default. There is no additional configuration required. Okay, now. So, but here, as I told, we don't talk directly pod to pod. Yes or no? Everything via service only. That is what I'm
Sir.
explaining now. If it is service based, how pod will talk to the other pod? Yes or no?
Okay.
Here we have the
Yes, sir.
services for all the pods. అవునా కదా? ప్రతి pod కి service ఉంది.
Yeah.
We don't create pod to pod. Direct pod to pod communication we don't require. Here service based communication only we will set up. So for your application also one service will be there. For database also one service will be there. So that is what. If you open, can you please create one pod once quickly? Can you create your pod quickly in Kubernetes? Create a pod one.
Hello, Amar. One quick query.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, after this Kubernetes, what will be the next content? Amar?
I'll start Git.
Oh, sorry.
I'll start Git.
Okay, Git is completed for our batch, Amar.
What are pending things for you?
Shell scripting is there. Uh,
Okay, maybe do one thing, guys. Everybody, can you please ping me one your pending things privately in my guys? Everybody, can you please ping me your pending things?
Sir, normal as we didn't cover Maven, right, sir?
It is a part of Jenkins only. Maven, Sonar, Nexus, Tomcat, all are part of Jenkins only. It's not separate topic.
But in Maven, there are actually 7 steps, right? We only have seen only one.
ఇది మన part కాదు, it's a developer part. As I told, here 7 life cycles are there, right?
Yes, sir.
Validate, compile, test, package. So if you do package, it will run other 3 also. It's not like only that step. Okay, if you do Maven package, it will run the other life cycles also. It is an order actually. Okay, it's not only the first step. The other steps also it will take care. Yeah. Now clear the screen. Everybody, can you please ping me? Actually, I have some concerns. Can you please ping me personally? Guys, everybody who logged in now, can you please ping me your completed tools or else pending tools? Everybody, can you please ping me quickly? So I'll ping you personally. Because the problem is like we have some old batch students also. So I'm little confused about like what are the things pending and all. That's the reason. Ping, can you please quickly ping me, everybody? What are the tools pending for you? Ping me privately. Everybody. Ashok, sorry, Akash, Dheeraj, Divya, Durgesh. Ping me privately. I hope you know my number. So daily I'm not here. Not here. Ping me in WhatsApp. So meanwhile, Prithvi, you create your part deployment. Ping me in privately, not here, not in guys. Everybody, guys. If you don't ping, I will treat you. You're done with all the topics. It's up to you. Don't say anything, guys. Just say your name. Just to say no, not your names. Just say your name and okay, name is fine. Don't say hi, Amar. Don't nothing. Hi, this is Chetan. Okay, so these are pending. That's it. This is one chart only, not multiple charts. ఒకటే చాట్ లో పెట్టండి ఇవన్నీ గైస్. ఐదర్ చార్ట్స్ పెట్టకండి ప్లీజ్. ఓన్లీ వన్ చాట్ ప్లీజ్. Only one chat please. Quickly. If you don't send, definitely I'll treat like you are done with all the topics. Only 4 people pinged me. 5 people out of 11. If you don't know my number, just you can search it. Daily I'm sending the links also, right? Recording. You can ping me. Ping me quickly, guys.
Sir, actually for March started batch, I think you have covered everything for them.
Yeah, ping me. That's what I'm asking. We have even last year students also, they are joining. That's a problem. Okay, so yeah, ping me everybody, guys. Ping me what completed, what else pending.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hope everybody ping. Okay, so as I told, how this example, if I create a service for this deployment, and for database also I have one service. So guys, generally database service I will add it into this application so image configuration file will be there, right? My application configuration file in the container. So there I will add the service like database service name. So how can you please log into this pod? Can you please log into this pod? Log into that.
kubectl exec.
I don't know. My keep. Yeah.
Type
One
it.
second. Yeah. Execute -dat. Not -dat, -it.
enter. So here there is a file called etcresolve.com. See, this is your kubedns IP address. Okay, now. So this is your kubedns IP address. So whenever my application want to talk to database, okay, so with service name, first it will connect my server, my Kubernetes, my pod will talk to this pod. So this pod has the IP address of the service where it is running. Okay, now. So it will connect to that particular service. Then that's once you connect that service has the endpoints like which pods are running in that service. It will connect to one of the pod. So that is what the same thing he is also showing here, guys. If you go through this recording, okay, now this video here, what he is doing, see, this is the application configuration. Okay, now, so this is application configuration. In application image is there, right? With this image only you created the container image, Docker image. That Docker image only you are using to create the deployment. So in that image configuration, in the application configuration, so you have service see, this is your service name, Redis master. In the application configuration file, you have the service name of the database. Okay, now. So, but how my application pod knows it? This is where it is running. What is the IP address of the service mean? So my pod will check that result.conf file. Their kubedns pod is IP address is there. So that is Kubernetes pod actually. Kubernetes managing that pod, kubedns pod. So it will connect to kubedns pod, find out the IP address of the service. This Redis master service IP address. Okay, so then it will connect to one of the pod. That is how the pod to pod communication will happen, guys. So by default we don't directly communicate like this. ఒకవేళ కమ్యూనికేట్ అవ్వాలంటే ఇలా అని చెప్తున్నాడు వీడు. But what we do compulsory, we access our application by using the services only, guys. For every deployment we have the service. Okay, now for every deployment we have the service. We don't have separate like part to part communication. We don't do that. మనం డైరెక్ట్ గా చెయ్యం. We don't directly access part to part communication for every part. So for if it is a publicly accessible application means what type of service we will create, guys? To access it from public నుంచి access అవ్వాలంటే what type of service we will create? Tell me, guys.
No, node port or load
Exactly. Service load balancer. If I want to access only within the cluster, guys,
cluster IP.
if I want to access it only within the cluster, what is the approach?
Cluster IP.
Cluster IP. Okay, generally for backend application, yeah, sorry guys. So this is how the network communication happening between your services. Okay, here CNA plugin is responsible for all these network rules. Okay, now so example, whenever one like example my pods are running here. Okay, now of course service is there. So service is to connect to tell which IP address which pod to connect. Okay, now so but the rules are made by CNI. So CNI is the main plugin. CNI creates the rules. So okay, here kube proxy will be there in all the worker nodes. So kube proxy with the help of kube proxy, okay, so the network rules are made. So whenever one pod wants to talk to another pod via even with service also, okay, service will give you the IP address of the pod. Okay, then how this pod will talk to another pod with the help of service? So first it will get the IP address of the service, then service will provide you the IP address of the pod. So then it will connect via interface to virtual interface to bridge to ETH0. Okay, here as I told, kube proxy knows that this pod is running in which worker node. So it will connect to that worker node ETH0, then it will go connect to CBR, then CBR will transfer the traffic to that particular pod. This is how the traffic flow will be. Even here the same thing it showed that, guys. So please make sure that without fail మీరు ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్ మొత్తం చదివితే ఇది అర్థమవుతుంది గైస్. ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పింది యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకేనా, వాట్ ఐ టోల్డ్ లైక్ ద నెట్వర్క్ హౌ ద ఫ్లో ఈస్ దేర్, ఎలా జరుగుతుంది అదంతా ఇక్కడ నుంచి దీంట్లో నుంచే నేను చెప్పింది ఇప్పుడు. ఓకేనా, ఒక సర్వీస్ ఇంకో సర్వీస్ తో ఎలా మాట్లాడుతుంది, ఒక పాడ్ ఇంకో పాడ్ తో ఎలా మాట్లాడుతుంది, ఐ షోడ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఓన్లీ. మీరు ఇదంతా అర్థం కాకపోయినా సరే, ఐ నో లైక్ ఇట్స్ నాట్ అన్ ఈజీ థింగ్. ఒక్క షాట్ లో అర్థం కాదు, ఎందుకంటే నాకు అర్థం కావడానికి కూడా చాలా టైం పట్టింది. ఓకేనా, బట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫాలో దిస్. వెరీ గుడ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్. ఎంటైర్ Kubernetes క్లస్టర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్, నెట్వర్క్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ మొత్తం దీంట్లోనే ఉంది. చాలా నీట్గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాడు. అసలు ఎలా కమ్యూనికేట్ అవుతాయి సర్వీస్ తో, ఒక పాడ్ నుంచి సర్వీస్ కి ఎలా వెళ్తుంది, the clear information. This one as well as the video which I provided to you. If you go through these two videos, that's it. You can understand the network concept, guys. Anta easy undi dintlo. Okay na? So this is how. Guys, in Kubernetes, can you please open? Okay, let me open my GitHub. Inka chala topics unnai, guys. Okay, so Kubernetes is ocean. Still, you have to complete all these stuff. Okay, even in my Google Drive also you have the documents. మనం ఇప్పుడు చెప్పింది లైక్ హార్డ్లీ ఒక 30-40% అనుకోవచ్చు. ఇంకా చాలా ఉంది, చాలా థింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి నేర్చుకోవడానికి. సో ఎవ్రీథింగ్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ ఇట్, ఆల్ దీస్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్. ఓకేనా, సో దిస్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద పబ్లిక్ డాక్యుమెంట్, గైస్, విచ్ ఈస్ అవైలబుల్. I got it from some other sources. Okay, so all these things you should go through. అర్థం కాకపోయినా you have to open it, you have to read it. Okay, daily ఒక టాపిక్ తీసుకోండి. Okay, so of course within like a 1 day 2 day you cannot complete. Daily take one topic. Okay, read it, what exactly is అర్థం కాకపోయినా ట్రై చేయండి, guys. Definitely you cannot understand within one shot. Try to read it, what he is trying to say. ఈ ఫైల్స్ ఏంటి, ఈ ఫైల్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే ఏముంది, ఏం రాస్తున్నాడు, వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మేనిఫెస్ట్ ఫైల్స్ ఈ రిటర్న్. ఓకేనా, లాగ్స్ ఎలా చెక్ చేసాం. సి, సో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మై పాడ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ వర్కింగ్. హౌ టు చెక్ ద లాగ్స్? kubectl logs pod name. It will show you the pod logs, what is there happening, what is happening inside your pod. It will show you. Example, you are having problem to start your deployment, and you are having problem to start your pod. So this is the command, guys. kubectl describe deployment name. It will show you what is happening. Okay, now same for pod also. Okay, example, kubectl describe pod name. It will show you what is happening, why it is not running, is there any like dependencies we have for that particular pod. Okay, now so it will show you all these things. Okay, so in that way, guys, every document you have to follow. Okay, ఇవన్నీ మేము చేయాల్సినవి. ఇందులో మనం సగం కూడా కవర్ చేయలేదు, ఇంకా చాలా ఉన్నాయి. Kubernetes is ocean, guys. మనం చేసిన బేసిక్ మేనిఫెస్ట్ ఫైల్స్ వాటిని బేస్ చేసుకొని స్టిల్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ దిస్. ఓకేనా? సో నా Kubernetes is very very important కాన్సెప్ట్, గైస్. మీరు అస్సలు వేరే టాపిక్స్ జరుగుతున్నా సరే యూ హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ Kubernetes ఓన్లీ. Practice, create different things. And even in my Google Drive also, you will get huge documentation. Just a minute, let me open my Google Drive. I hope everybody has my Google Drive also. How many of you have my Google Drive, guys? Anybody doesn't have my Google Drive? Guys, anybody not having my Google Drive? ఎవరి దగ్గరైనా నా గూగుల్ డ్రైవ్ లేదా? So please let me know if you don't have it. Let me open my Google Drive. See, even in interview preparation also you have the Kubernetes questions. Okay, scenario based questions, Kubernetes questions. All these things you should go through. It is your responsibility, guys. So troubleshooting documents are there, interview questions are there, then so even one book also there, guys. Let me show you that book. Just a minute. The outside, I think so. Yes, I think this one. So we have book also, guys. It's a vast subject. ఇంకా నెల కాదు 2 నెలలు చెప్పినా అయిపోతుంది. Okay, so you have to more concentrate on this. So all these documents, try to use my Google Drive, guys. Even if you have any documentation also, please let me know, guys. I will keep it in my Google Drive, so it will be useful for others also. Anybody has other documents, guys, along with my Google Drive? Guys, anybody has other documents? ఎవరి దగ్గర డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయా గూగుల్ డ్రైవ్? Not Google Drive, your own. Maybe you may get it from some other. Okay, if possible, please forward it to me so that I will keep it in my Google Drive. Okay, so definitely it will be helpful to others also. Yeah. So okay then, guys, that's it. So that is about Kubernetes, but please keep practicing. There are so many things still available to concentrate in DevOps in Kubernetes. So we'll move on with the next topic. Yeah, good. Who is he? Like just now I got some document.
It's Sairam
I
Saswal. Yeah.
yeah,
Amar,
Sairam. Great.
what about the ingress concept? Ingress, you were about to say.
I told you, right? I showed you that yesterday. What is ingress? I told you, right?
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you're about to make the ingress rules file and wanted
Yeah,
to.
that actually rules are same. Rules already I showed you. Yesterday I was starting the networking concept. That time I lost my power. I told
Yeah,
you that rules and all I showed you already. What kind of rules will be there in ingress service?
yes.
Okay, now so you have to
Yeah,
set
you
up that.
told that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you have to work on. So guys, whatever the videos, whatever the documents I given to you, right? Compulsory you should go through with that. Yeah, good document, Sairam. Thank you very much. If anybody else has again any other document, please send it to me, guys. That's great. So I'll keep this also in our document. Yeah. Okay then, guys. So we'll meet again in tomorrow class. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I got 2 documents as of now. That's great. Yeah. Okay then. So we'll meet tomorrow. I'll ping you guys.